This is the second case. This is a 2-year, 2-month-old female baby weighing 7.8 kg. Typical D. George facies. There is anorectal malformation, and the child was found to have cyanosis since 9 months of age and diagnosed as tetralogy of Fallot at 1 year of age. She underwent a total repair, VSD closure, transannular patch, augmentation of the RVOT with a LPA plasty in view of severe LPA origin stenosis on 7th December 2020. And the first colostomy was done on 27th May 2021. Though she is asymptomatic, on follow-up echocardiography, there was severe LPA origin stenosis. These are the echocardiographic images. As you can see, there is mild to moderate tricuspid regurgitation. RVOT is wide open, and there is a discrete muscle bundle producing some 30 mm of mercury gradient across the RVOT. There is free pulmonary artery regurgitation, and if you see into the high parasternal view, here you can appreciate there is a severe LPA origin stenosis, and the RPA is good sized. We measured the LPA origin 3 mm and the distal LPA of approximately 9 mm. We got a CT scan, a CT pulmonary angiogram, where you can see good sized RPA, severe LPA origin stenosis. This is the LPA origin and this is the distal LPA. Distal LPA is good size, measuring 9 mm. In the sagittal view, this is the LPA origin, which is very, very stenosed. So we are planning for a LPA stenting using a Cook formula stent.
This morning we have gathered for a contemplated left pulmonary artery stenting on a small child, Prarthana, who is 2 years, females, and she underwent a top repair, as has already been depicted by our friend Dr. Rishika in the PowerPoint presentation. And this morning we are planning to do an LPA stenting. The background is that she was operated in December 2000 for a tetralogy of Fallot repair and was detected to have an LPA stenosis in the month of about April 2021. Thereafter, we had a CT scan done, and from the different views, we discovered that there was a dilatation of the main pulmonary artery along with the patch, and there was a stenosis at the LPA origin, which was a discrete stenosis with the post-stenotic dilatation of around 9.3 millimeters in the left pulmonary artery. So we are planning to put a Cook's formula stent there, and I'll detail the descriptions of the procedure as we go on. So the first step is an RV angiogram. So in our team today, I am flanked by my colleagues, Dr. Sanjeevan, Dr. Joyita, and Dr. Madhurima. Dr. Parijat is a helm of the affairs at the anesthetic side. In our technical team and the nursing team, we have Seema, Meeta, and Urmila, and our technician team, we have Shubhajit. And dear friends, now that we have done the angiograms, and you can see the pigtail is in the main pulmonary artery, which was seen to be dilated from the RV angiogram. But from the RV angiogram, we have seen an outline of the branch pulmonary arteries, but you couldn't see the origin of the left pulmonary artery, which has been covered by the dilated MPA. Now, to find out the origin of the left pulmonary artery, we have to take some special views. So we have done that one. So number one angiogram, which we have done with a pigtail inside the main pulmonary artery at the junction of the MPA, RP, and LPA. So this is a view which we have taken at LAO 75, 35 and cranial caudal 40. So this view has been taken. This is a normal view which we take for the branch pulmonary arteries. And here you can see the right pulmonary artery. Actually, the right and left pulmonary arteries crossing each other, which is known as the crossed branch pulmonary arteries. The right pulmonary artery is quite dilated and filling of the RPA, right lung. The left pulmonary artery, you can see, actually is arising from the right side, and it is very narrow, and there is left lung is getting filled, but the quantity of filling of the left lung is much, much less compared to the right, which justifies our action that today we are going to do a LPA stenting. One more thing which could have been done is a ventilation perfusion scan, which we have not done in this case because we are confident that the CT scan and the physiological nature of the constriction itself justifies that we have to do a LPA stenting. The next view we have taken is LAO 81 and a cranial 5 degrees, which is a very, very steep iliocranial, almost equivalent to the 90-degree lateral. Here we have a picture similar to the one which we have already shown in the CT scan. You can see the right pulmonary artery which is dilated, which is facing downstairs, and at you can see from the upstairs, from the above of the image, you can see that the second stapler pin is just showing the origin of the left pulmonary artery, which at origin measures probably roughly around 3 millimeters, but down as soon as it takes off, is severely stenosed and is giving a picture that there is a very small artery which is arising from the main pulmonary artery. Next view, please. So these are the two views which we have taken, which have specifically guided us to give the LPA picture. And you can see that the main pulmonary artery is dilated, which is because of the transannular patch. And also in this view, you can see one more thing. There is severe pulmonary regurgitation in this 81.5 view. There is severe pulmonary regurgitation, which is reflected in the hemodynamic monitor. As you can see, the systemic pressure is 88/46/63, and the PA pressure is 48/0 with a mean of 22. That means a very low diastolic is due to the severe pulmonary regurgitation, and the pressure, systolic pressure of 48 is an augmented view actually, because the real PA pressure would be much less. This is because of the severe pulmonary regurgitation, which is causing the right ventricular ejection to be much higher than expected. So the actual PA pressure, if the pulmonary regurgitation would have been subtracted, would have been in the range of say 30 to 35. Crossing. So Sanjeevan and Joyita has crossed the junction of the left pulmonary artery, and now the catheter is in the distal left lower branch. So if you can show the crossing, it's a little bit of a long video. So they have crossed with the help of a straight tip 025 exchange length thermo wire or a glide wire and a 5 French MP1 catheter. This is the crossing, and Joyita has placed the distal end of the wire safely parked into the distalmost part of the left lower branch. Now Sanjeevan is gradually advancing his catheter over the wire. It requires immense amount of coordination between the two operators, so that the commonest accident which happens is that the wire might fling out in the process when the catheter is taking the curve. So they have to walk on the wire. One person has to walk on the wire very gradually, and the other person has to advance it millimeter by millimeter, so that we can reach the distalmost part of the left lower pulmonary artery where the wire is parked. Now we will exchange this wire with a stiff wire over which we will take our stent delivery system. Today we have taken a 6 French PDA device delivery system, 7 French PDA device delivery system from LifeTech, and we'll place this system at the distalmost part and gradually withdraw, through which we'll deliver the stent function. And we had kept our wire, that is the thermo wire, 025 J-tip extended thermo wire, deep inside the left lower branch of the left pulmonary artery. Now after that, the procedure which we followed was, first of all, we slid our MP catheter over the wire into the deepest portion, and thereafter we exchanged the thermo wire with the ultra stiff wire. That is the one which we showed. That is the can you show the fluoro, please? They can show the stored fluoro. We'll show you the stored fluoro as well. Ultra stiff wire, which is the white colored one. It's a little bit stiffer than the super stiff wire which we use in our regular ASDs or PDA device closures. So this gives us a firm anchorage so that our delivery system can move over it. But in this case, as you can see in the consecutive fluoroscopic recordings, that our delivery system, which was a 7 French LifeTech PDA device delivery system, could not be encroached past the severe stenosis at the LPA origin. You can see we have tried many times, but what was happening is, as I was telling in previously, the wire was flipping back, which means that even with the ultra stiff wire, it was not giving us enough of a support, and it was not allowing the sheath to get past the severe origin stenosis. So we tried several times consecutively, like we exchanged the wire and we tried to move over multipurpose catheter, slide the delivery system over a multipurpose catheter, which did not work. Then what we did was, we decided, Joyita told that probably we can balloon dilate the origin. So similarly, we need a very stiff balloon, but at the same time, since we have an ultra stiff wire which is 035. Hence, there are very less balloons which can be moved over it. Hence, what we did was we exchanged the ultra-stiff wire with a multipurpose catheter. You can see how stenosed the mouth is. We exchanged again the multipurpose and the ultra-stiff wire in lieu of a coronary wire. Then we took a 4 by 12 millimeters peripheral balloon, coronary balloon, and dilated it 4 times. Thus, we thought that we have bombarded the whole pathway from the left pulmonary artery origin a little bit to and fro. And then we tried to slide over the delivery system again with the help of the obturator. But to our surprise, this time also the delivery system could not be sent past the severe origin stenosis. Hence, we again exchanged the wire along with the catheter, and this time we took a much more stronger balloon, a Mustang balloon, 5 into 40 millimeters Mustang balloon, and we dilated the whole origin a little bit to and fro, so that this time our catheter, our delivery system can go past. This is the Mustang balloon dilatation. As you can see, we have balloon dilated the whole segment, and to our satisfactory response. So this time what we did was we again tried to cross over the severe stenosis, but again to our surprise it was so severely stenosed that this time also it was not allowing, along with the obturator, the delivery system to go past. The wire, that the stiff wire, ultra stiff wire, was again flipping back. Then we decided to change the strategy. The strategy was, since this, as you can see, with much efforts, with much time and much patience, this was not allowing the delivery system. Now there might be a question that whether the advancing the delivery system was at all required, whether the stent could be advanced over the wire, especially keeping the, for example, say keeping the stiff wire there, and the delivery system would be up just up to the point where the stenosis starts, whether we could move the stent. But to our experience, the kind of stent which we are using, or rather any stent, whether it is a pre-mounted or a balloon crimped stent, what might happen is in such a severe stenosis, if we try to advance the balloon and the stent system, either crimped or pre-mounted over the wire without the guarding of a delivery system, then the stent might get blocked at the origin. And it has happened before that the balloon might get advanced alone and the stent might be left behind. And if this happens, then we call for an emergency, because then the stent will be just floating inside the main pulmonary artery without even advancing to the left pulmonary artery. So this is a very delicate balancing act, and we avoided such a proposition. Hence, the next step would have been that we change our strategy, and since this sheath was not at all advancing to a safe distance where we could take the stent inside the housing, we changed the strategy to change the stent overall. So previously our choice of stent was a Cook 9 by 20 stent, that is 9 millimeters of diameter and the length of 20 millimeters, because there was on the CT scan the length of the stenosis itself, as you can see on the angiogram, the length of the stenosis itself was around 12 millimeters. So that is the reason we were choosing about 20, just to center the center and balance the stent just at the middle of the stenotic part. So now, since the sheath was not advanceable at all, we changed the stiff wire in lieu of a coronary wire, which was which was ultra stiff coronary wire, Grand Slam coronary wire 014, and over which was part again in the same position. Over it, we had advanced a 7 French guiding catheter. Angiogram, please. Can you show the fluoro, that part? As you can see, this is the delivery system is standing at the junction of the MP and the LPA. The 7 French catheter, guiding catheter, has passed the stenosis over the coronary wire, and now we were in a safe position. Now the ultimate, this was the penultimate step. Now the ultimate step, next fluoro, please. Our choice of stent was 7 into 16 millimeters Cook's formula stent, which would move over the 014 coronary wire. So there are 3 series of these stents, 014, 018 and 035. Since the 035 system, we had the 035 system of collection of stents, but since the 035 system was not applicable in this case, hence we moved on to the 014. So this wire, this particular coronary, this particular stent moves over a coronary wire 014 system, and we delivered the stent over over the coronary wire through the 7 French delivery system. Now the next angio, please. You can see here also there was some amount of difficulty, and it required enormous amount of coordination between the 3 and 4 operators. So what we did was, the sheath, there is a delivery system, stood at the junction of the MP and the LPA. The delivery system, the second delivery system, that is the 7 French delivery and 7 French guiding catheter, went just past, and the stent was advanced halfway across the tip of the catheter. Under this condition, with enormous amount of control, the whole system was pulled back inch by inch, millimeter by millimeter, and we, by side, we had to do angiograms through the side arms, and we saw to place the stent exactly in the midway of the stenosis, so that some part of it, approximately about 3 to 4 millimeters, was hanging in the LPA, and about 3 to 4 millimeters was hanging in the MPA. So the main part, that the stenos part, was spanned by the middle part of the stent, which we confirmed number of times from different angles through hand injections. Now the 7 into 16 millimeter stent, which has been placed exactly at the center, was dilated up to 10, I think 10 atmospheres. Yes, we dilated up to 10 atmospheres, and thereafter you can see the dilatation of the stent now. Next one. Yes, this one. This was, and we were assured to see that you can see the beauty of the stent. The stent dilates at both the tips first, and the waist was dilated the last, so that this gives a firm grip. And there was dilatation. There are plenty of stents who dilate from one end, like the distal end, some from the proximal end. This one dilated from both the ends, and it gives us a firm reassurance that the central part has been caught in the stenosis, main stenosis, and there was no chance of the stent being dislodged. And hereafter, we decided that to take a pigtail wire through this one. I'll describe the hemodynamics a little bit later. We have taken a pigtail catheter through the delivery system, and here in the ileocranial view, you can see that there has been good arborization and good amount of QP distribution to both the lungs, almost equal. And here we have taken the pullback here as well, and the RV pressures have come down, as you can see on the hemodynamic monitor. There's a systemic pressure is 111 by 59 with a mean of 79, and the RV pressure, our pigtail is right inside the MPA RV junction. Can you show Fluoro? Yep. As you can see, it is just inside the MPA, and the main pulmonary pressure now is 4308, which has come down significantly. Initially, to start with, the systolic pressure was 90, systolic pressure was 90, with a RV pressure of 53, I think 54. And now, where the systemic pressure has gone up, 111 by 59 over a mean of 80, the RV pressure is 45, 0, and 9, mean of 9. I think it has given a good result.